2 o'clock, and I call this meeting to order of the Beaufort County Board of Voter Registration and Elections. We will start by having a pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will have public comments. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Hearing no indications that anybody would like to speak, we will now review the minutes from meetings on November 11th, the canvass hearing and certification hearing, as well as the minutes from November 23rd, canvass hearing and certification hearing.
I move that we accept both minutes from November 11th and the 23rd.
I second Elaine Mitchell.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes of both the November 11th and the November 23rd canvass hearing and certification hearing. All in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
All opposers? The motion carries.
Bless you.
Do we have any unfinished business? Hearing none, we will move on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Well, I think rules is the first one listed, Beverly. My dear friend Jean Felix is going to supply most of what you're going to see in that finished product. She and I are working together to make sure this comes out on time.
Good.
And hopefully that will be by the next board meeting, which is a month away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that report. Any other committee reports? Legislative?
No, we haven't met.
Okay. Well, I have a brief one from the Precinct Redistricting Committee. We met on January 24th, which was yesterday, and present at that meeting was Jim Rowe, Eileen Mitchell, Craig Kelly joined us. Thank you, Craig. James Wedgeworth could not be present, but I was present, and we got a lot done. It was a very lengthy meeting. I think it lasted more than 3 hours, but we have a completed report to be submitted to the legislative delegation after we have submitted correspondence to the South Carolina Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Office in Columbia with reference to redrawing the lines of our precinct. We addressed precincts that had more than 1,500 voters, with priority given to those who had 1,600 and more, and also those that had known problems such as overcrowding, people standing in line longer than we wanted them to stand, and other issues that we worked through those precincts and made some very excellent recommendations regarding the redrawing of the lines. These will be examined by the GIS office in Columbia. May 2023 is the targeted date for absolute completion. Are there any comments that the committee members would like to add to the process and what we were able to achieve?
Madam Vice Chair, Eileen Mitchell would like to say that We did a phenomenal job on them yesterday. And I believe that once we get everything submitted to Marie, our director, and she in turn then submit that to the delegation, and they see the numbers are large and still growing, that hopefully they will approve our recommendation. So I think and I know we did a good job, not thinking it, I know we did a good job.
Jim?
I'd just like to say thank you, Emily. Any meeting of that nature where you're trying to herd cats and gather marbles at the same time can be a bit challenging. You did a really fine job, Emily.
Thank you so
I'd
much.
like the record
Jim.
to reflect that.
Craig, any comments?
No, I got everything out of it.
Craig?
I was only
provided
there an hour and a half.
some very detailed information during the hour and a half that he was there, and we really appreciate any board member attending any of our meetings. I want you to feel that each of you are valued as a board member, and if you feel that you have a contribution to make, by all means, step forward. We are a committee that have a defined goal, and that is to be an exemplary elections commission. So please feel free to come to future meetings.
I have a process question. Does this now not come to the board in total before it goes external to the board? I mean, committees should.
We have a very detailed report, and because the meeting was so long and so many tiny details, with so many precincts having more than 1,600, both Arlene Mitchell and I are compiling the tiny details, and when we finish, all of the board members will get this report and have an opportunity to have input.
Okay,
But
because you had mentioned it was going external to the board.
once
Yeah, so
we,
it
as
needs
a board,
come to us first.
yes, we will do that.
And any notification of board meetings, I mean, committee meetings like that, I mean, I wasn't aware you were having a meeting
Okay,
yesterday. Thank you.
we'll be happy to remember that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? I think that concludes it. We are down to new business. We would like to take the opportunity to recognize former board members. At this time, I think our deputy down there has some nice recognition awards. Do we want to do that now, or?
It
Okay.
says now.
There you go.
It's supposed to be in another meeting. It's supposed to be in another meeting. A conference.
Step forward. Jean, this is a certificate of appreciation for all of the hard work that you put forth, and we are so indebted to you for your leadership during a very crucial time, which is a major election. For your dedication and service to the Board of Voter Registration and Elections of Beaufort County and the state of South Carolina from October 2005 to December 2022. Awarded this 25th day of January 2023. We appreciate you, Jean. And Jean is continuing her service as our training director with our department.
Okay, I'd like to read it myself.
Awesome, is that 2005?
Bravo.
And now the floor is open for the nominations of chair, vice chair, and secretary. If there are no objections, we will elect a chair first.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Ms. Mitchell as chair.
I'll second it.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell has been nominated. Are there any more nominations?
I nominate Beverly since she was the vice chair the last time.
Okay, Bernadette Hampton has nominated Beverly Dorr. Do I hear other nominations? The nomination is closed on the site of 2 names. We will start with the last name first. All in favor of Beverly Dorr, please raise your hands. Okay, all in favor of Eileen Mitchell, raise your hands. Okay, on the site of 3 votes, we have a new chair, Ms. Eileen Mitchell. Congratulations. Okay, now the chair is open for nominations of vice chair. Do I hear any nominations?
I'll nominate myself for vice chair.
All right.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay. Are there any other nominations?
I nominate Bernadette.
Okay. Ms.
I mean,
Hampton
you can
has
abstain
been
if you want to.
nominated.
I can decline. I'll go with Mr. Peely. I'll support Mr. Peely.
On the site of 1 name, we have one candidate, so I think he wins by acclamation. Unless, okay, do I continue, Madam New Chair, would you like to take over?
Of course.
You would complete this meeting.
Okay,
I
that's
should,
what I
right?
thought, but.
You have a secretary?
Okay, there is a, open nomination for secretary.
I nominate again, Bernadette Hampton.
I'll second it.
And I would like to close on that name. One name.
Are there any other nominations? On the side of 1 name? All in favor of Bernadette Hampton, raise your hand.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, Bernadette, congratulations, you are not now our new secretary. Okay, we have 3 new officers: Chair Eileen Mitchell, Vice Chair Craig Kelly, Secretary Bernadette Hampton, and that is the end of the nomination process. We will have a review of the 2023 board meeting dates and times. Are there any questions about those? Any recommendations for changes?
No, ma'am.
Okay. The review of 2023 committee assignments. Are there any suggested changes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, they will stand. 2022 election debriefing. Are there any comments regarding, the debriefing?
Before we get into that, do we have any update on 2 open positions? Or is that now, or is that, are you gonna do that?
Director's report.
Okay. Just don't wanna
election debriefing? Any comments, or do you want to table that till, until the next meeting?
What's that?
The election debriefing,
Well, I think we need to do it now.
okay. Any comments?
So I'll start. From our meeting yesterday, I just got the impression that we should have been able to do stuff faster, have people come through quicker. And I think we need to, at some point in time, put down some kind of a guidelines as to what we think, because when you have election, you got a 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night, what happens in between? And I guess, to me anyway, I think about what's, let's say we have an issue where it's 2-hour wait. What are we gonna do try to speed up the 2-hour wait, or how can we identify what we feel as a board is an acceptable rate, acceptable time for somebody to show up, vote, and go home.
Okay, that's a good observation.
So I think yesterday we came up with 45 minutes to an hour that should be the max time. And I think each precinct needs to figure out what they need, either in more personnel or in more machines or a different facility. Everybody on the board has to define, I think, each one of their precincts and see exactly what they need. Because yesterday we apparently by next year we will have some of the precincts divided up and into new precincts. So we're gonna have to look at that in its entirety to make sure we have machines and make sure the number of people we require.
I agree with that assessment. And now that we have a full-time training department and a training person, and we will be doing training in person, and those poll managers and clerks, they will be able to get hands-on training and also ask questions. And if they feel like they don't understand, it would be great that they let the training department know, because some people do not process things as quickly as others, so some people may need a little extra, and that way that will help also in making sure they are very efficient. Yes.
Just a reminder, we're getting some feedback. They can't hear you, or the lights on, push that button.
Oh,
The lights on.
Lights
The
on.
blue light should be on.
yeah, it is.
Pull it closer.
Okay, closer. What about now? Okay, thank you. As I was saying that with the training department, and we're gonna have in-person training for our poll managers and clerks. It's great that we're gonna be doing that because everyone do not process training as others do. Some people may take them a second time to get it. But the most important thing is when they leave from training with Gene Felix, they should know exactly how to check in the voters, and especially how to process any type of conflict resolutions. Because again, that's a part too where sometimes there are little hiccups where they don't quite understand what to do and how to do it. So Gene will touch on those things and make sure that they are well prepared when we get ready for 2024, because it's going to be a big election. We need all hands on deck, and we need people to be trained thoroughly and ready. So that way we will look good in Beaufort County, that everyone knows how to do their job. And even if I have to come and help, I don't mind, because I wasn't in training for the bank, so I know how important that is to give refresher course in training. Okay?
Thank you. We will move on past the election debriefing to the director's report. Marie?
Hello, board. It's so
Hello.
nice to see you all in this brand new year. We have a very short report, but what I will attempt to do is is, in the session today, we're gonna not necessarily do an update on the legislative, laws that are being introduced right now, because there are so many of them that are election related and or partially have some kind of impact on elections. So I have attached at the end of your board report a list of all of those legislations that's been pre-filed and brought to the floor, being considered in this general session. So we're not going to do that in detail. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the election updates. Again, not a whole lot to talk about. This is what we call an off-election year. And so, but we do have a couple of elections planned for this year, and facility update and a few miscellaneous items. So under the election update, um, we have the town of Port Royal will be having their general election along with the town of Bluffton. And in both of those municipalities, they will have the mayor on the ballot and 2 council seats. So be prepared. Those of you who are in those areas, board members, go ahead and start looking at your poll workers and who's going to be available in November to conduct those meetings. Typically, municipal elections are not very high, doesn't have a very high turnout, but we're going to prepare that if everyone in those municipalities are going to come out. Typically, when the mayor's on the ballot, it draws a little bit more people. So we just want to be prepared, be ready to accommodate whatever the situation may be. Early voting for the Bluffton area is typically held at the Bluffton office. Right now, we do not have a facility for early voting. We are working on that, so that is to be announced a little bit later. And of course, the folks that are voting in Bluffton, in the town of Port Royal, will be coming to the John Galt office, although any of our early voting center will be opened to any voters that are eligible to vote in those elections.
Ms. Marie, what about absentee?
Oh, no, that process will still be, absentee will only be by mail, okay? We will advertise, and we will get those people who would like to have absentee ballots. Normal process. They will have to apply for an application for those elections.
Marie, I'm sorry, I should know this, or Wendell. Is Chesney in the town of, it's considered the town of Bluffton? Okay.
I don't think that's, now, Chesney 1 is the town of Fort Royal, but I don't know if we have any voters in there.
If we don't have any voters?
I don't think so. If we do, they're very few.
Sorry?
The specific part of Rome, but the area that's part of the law is in March.
At least it used to be.
Yeah, Lemon Island is in the town of Port Royal.
Okay,
I don't think you can see.
thank you.
So, Ms. Eileen mentioned the training. We are fortunate to have on board on staff right now, our new trainer and our outreach coordinator. And so we do have, I think, some great initiatives that we are proposing for 2023. We've been working through all the details, and she's been tantalizing me and tantalizing Wendell, and just little eager beaver, trying to learn everything she can learn. So I think Jean in that position will do a great job and will be very beneficial to our voters, our poll managers, and our community, because we are proposing at least two community. Now this one is the new poll workers training. We mentioned earlier, new poll workers training. We are going back to in-person training for 2023, even though this is a small election. This has really nothing to do with the election itself. This is in general. Anybody who would like to become a poll manager in Beaufort County have an opportunity to sign up for the in-person training. And I think we have already gotten several people who were on the list that we sent notices to let them know these positions, I mean, these training will take place on these particular days, and already have gotten responses. And we will also advertise it in the newspaper shortly.
And second date is August.
It's what? August?
Should be
Oh,
August
August 6th, okay. So please make that correction, Saturday, August 6th. 5th. August 5th. Let me make it on my form.
So,
August the 5th,
I have a
the
question.
same time and they're both Saturday dates. Yes.
Okay, that's on slide 5. The first date is May 5th, and then the second one is May 6th.
May 6th, August.
It's August 5th instead of May 6th.
On the second Saturday. Okay. And then we will have the briefings scheduled for those 2 elections. 2 briefings will be held in Bluffton and 1 will be held in Beaufort. Did I get those wrong too? Oh. Which one? The Saturday is the 14th. You know, that's what happens when you copy and paste. Forgot to go back and change the dates. All right, so the Saturday is on the 14th. And when you're doing it at 12 o'clock at night. Okay. So, the one that I'm really, really excited about is the next slide, the community forum that we will be hosting. I hope I got those dates right. The community forum, and this will be publicized as well and put on our website. Our goal is to inform our community about our election processes and procedures. What we have learned over these last couple of elections is there are so many people who are misinformed, and they just need to understand what the processes are so that they can be a better voter. We want to educate them as much as we can so that on election day or during the early voting process, they will know what to expect. And there is a role that the voter plays in this, especially when it comes down to making sure that their voter registration record is correct. A lot of people take that for granted. You must have an updated address in the voter registration system. And once you update your address, your problems on election day will be nil to minimum to none, because your address drives where you vote and who you get to vote for. But most people don't take that as an important part of voter registration. So along with so many other topics, we want to make sure our community is aware of this. We're gonna try and get this out in as many formats as we can to the media, and hoping that people will come out. And if you have any ideas and suggestions on things as a board that you would like to see be presented during the forums, please let G know so that we can incorporate that, because we do want these to be successful. We want Beaufort County to have the smartest voter in the state. Okay, so let's do that. Now, we talked a little bit briefly about the facilities. I do want to let you know that the Bluffton office is still closed right now because we are in a transitional period. We will be moving from the Alma Road location to Myrtle Park, and that's where our satellite office in Bluffton will be. And so in a couple of weeks, hopefully, we will be ready to move in. And until then, the Bluffton office is going to remain closed. But of course, voters can receive full service at the Beaufort office, like always. Okay? The other thing that I'm excited about, I'm excited about a lot of things, that is plans to add on to our existing building on John Galt Road. An additional warehouse space is being planned right now, and hopefully we will have that, but at least more information to report to you on the progress of that. But the plans are in the works, which is a good thing. So we're looking forward to getting that accomplished.
Are you seeing people out there?
What you say? Yeah, okay, great. That's a good thing, people, architects and things like that. So yeah, that's a good thing. So couple of miscellaneous updates. The SCARE conference, and most of you have signed up for the SCARE conference, which is a good thing. We are planning a fantastic SCARE conference. You know, I'm a little partial. What can I say? But this will be my final SCARE conference as the president. And so let's go out Beaufort County with a bang. I want to make sure that the information that's going to be presented at the conference, we have folks on the national level coming in. I think the lineup, the classes that's being prepared by the State Election Commission, they are great classes. So the only thing you would need to do is if you are renewing your certification for 2023, all you need is to take one class. And so just make sure, I think most of you have signed up for classes. So if you are attending the conference, look to have an educational session and informative session and a little bit of fun as we do it all. Okay? I've already announced Jean being our newest employee and the position she's serving in. And of course, the 2024 budget is in process. So if you have any budgetary items that you can think of, we try to think of everything, but maybe you're thinking about something that we have not considered to include in our budget, you need to let us know as soon as possible. And don't forget, file your ethic report by the 31st of March. Do not wait until the last minute, I would recommend. Okay, any questions?
Marie, as far as the election, the state legislation,
Mm-hmm.
can we get some information prior to going to SCARE or at SCARE? So we know, so we have an idea of what we should be talking about. In other words, I mean, there's a lot here. Is there like five of these that we should know more about that we know today?
Yes, you should. I'm not sure if we didn't send you our SCARE's legislative priorities. You haven't gotten copies of that? Okay, then you will get a copy of that. Chris will send it to you. And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. I thought you had it already. And like I said, we will have folks from the USPS. You know, we did have issues with our absentee ballot. These are the folks that will be doing presentations. It will be a good opportunity to ask them some questions in relations to what are they planning on doing in 2024 to make sure that our voters are getting their ballots and our ballots are being returned back to us in a timely fashion. So that's just one question. That's been my question for them. So y'all don't take my question, okay? All right. So come up with your own questions.
I'm sorry, that question is directed to who?
Some of the presenter, one of the presenter that's going to be presenting during the general session. Mr. Pelly was talking about the legislative session, which is going to be on that Friday. And so we will have some state legislators there. So far, there are a couple of senators who've signed up. None from the Beaufort delegation have signed up yet. So we are still encouraging them to answer the invitation. And it would be nice to see someone from Beaufort or from our Beaufort delegation, especially the Beaufort itself, serving on that committee. But we do have folks from other parts of the state that will be there. Okay? Any other questions? That's it.
Thank you, Maria. Our next board meeting is scheduled for February 22nd at 2 o'clock at the County Council Chambers. Is there anything else that needs to be brought before this board? If not, we have exhausted the agenda items. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
It's been
Eileen
moved
Mitchell.
and second that we adjourn this meeting. I don't think we have to ask for yays, but the meeting is adjourned.
Yay.
You don't even need a second.
You don't,
You don't need a second.
but I got one.
I know.